Okay, welcome back to 45 News Utah with Rick. We're going to go through CNN. You guys, we have to go through this. That's going to be the first one. Okay, mass debate puts Biden's strengths to the test. Okay. Where there was once a fight about whether Americans should still wear masks, new COVID guidance could create a fight over taking them off. So let's just, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to have to see how that goes. New guidance, new guidelines. We're going to have to go through this. The bobbleheads are going to just come out and tell us that this is what they got going on because they basically have to do something. They don't know what they're doing. Let's see. Biden pushes new CDC mask guidance as a reason why all Americans should get vaccinated. Okay, we went through this in the last episode, the reason why everybody should get vaccinated if you can, if you dare. And I understand if you don't dare don't do it. I mean, it's up to you. The reason why everybody should get vaccinated, in my opinion, not as a doctor, I'm held harmless for my opinion. Still got the freedom of speech to a point. The reason why everybody should get vaccinated is so this virus doesn't have enough places to go, and if the variants do hit and they are very dangerous and it does mutate, then we could be in a lot of trouble. But give or take what the vaccine will actually do against a variant. Nobody's actually saying, hey, this is 100% positive. No. Okay, watch CDC's mask announcement. Not going to do that. What Biden has gotten very right and very wrong. Well, if we dig into that, I think we're going to be here a while. Yeah, we're going to be here a while. There's a lot of things, that we could debate that all day. We could. Biden set to acknowledge ground-shaking history of the last year in first speech to Congress. Ground-shaking. We have a pandemic that they're claiming is over. That's ground-shaking. Everybody's lives have been affected across planet Earth. Planet Earth. They passed out so much funny money that funny money doesn't even exist anymore. It's basically digital currency because they couldn't even handle the amount of printing of the sopping up of all the monies everywhere, and the rich just getting richer. Just hugely rich. Huge. You're talking trillions now. We don't pass bills that are in the billions. We cut only in the trillions. Well, that's $100 billion. Wow, let's just sign that one. Congress wouldn't even have to debate. The Senate and the House wouldn't even have to worry about even fighting over a bill that had $100 billion in it. Just that was a whole bill. They'd be like, is that all you got? We just signed $1.9 trillion the other day. You know what T is for trillion? Holy crap. And these guys just shoveled it out. Hey, how much you guys want? Let's make that one 1.20 bazillion. Yeah, that's what's happened. Okay. CDC gives new guidance on what vaccinated people can safely enjoy. But we may be hitting a wall of vaccine hesitation. Yeah, okay. We might be hitting a wall with vaccine hesitation. What you can and can't do now that you're vaccinated. Well, I just read a story a little while ago telling me that the pandemic is over. Post-pandemic. Wonder how they got that out. I mean, where did they get that information? Oh, CNN? Like to see. Okay, yeah, critical race theory, we're not going to get into that. You can now get Amazon groceries delivered inside your garage. Neat story came out on Facebook today. There was a DoorDash person that was delivering stuff to support their child. They were using their own vehicle, and somebody jumped in their car, took off, went on a high-speed chase, and destroyed the car. And they're liable, the person on the car. Just telling you. Because it's a business, and they're delivering, and they're on the clock, and they're using their own private vehicle, they are not covered under their insurance. So think about the next DoorDash people you meet. They have to pay a separate insurance in order to be covered. So this Amazon moving in, yeah, they're going to move in because they have the Jeff Bezos is one of the richest men in the world. He can afford to pay his drivers to deliver DoorDash, but the problem is he can't afford to give his employees a break long enough to go to the bathroom, so they have to pee in a jug. That's your richest people in the world. That's them. Okay, don't want to cover that. Don't want to cover that. We're not getting into some of the stuff. So let's go back up to the right. Liz Cheney thinks January 6th should be disqualifying for some Republicans. Is she even relevant? Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney's daughter. Yeah. Remember Iraq. Just telling you. Just telling you. Yeah, those guys that were involved in that time period. No, I don't want nothing to do with what their opinion is at all. Okay, opinion. We can't let January 6th become a distant, distorted memory. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Just we can do anything we want in that sense because it's a memory. I'm more concerned about why they're not talking about Russia and the warships that Britain's planned on apparently going to send in 1st of May up through Crimea. You know, is that blanketing the news outlets? So I see, you know, this is what's happening with Russia, Russia, you know, Britain, U.S. possible war. No, I know that the British are going to sell a massive fleet through the South China Sea. Is it Britain that's going to be the ones that's going to try to push World War III? Because there's plenty of scenarios on what's happening and why they would want to push World War III. Just my opinion. Because other than that, it's all over posturing and trade wars and who has control of what. But apparently Russia wasn't that important that they just dropped the story real fast for what reason? I'm just telling you. You gotta use your own brain. Former Obama White House advertiser arrested for allegedly stealing over $200,000 from charter school he funded. Founded. Okay. Well, good for him. He can go to jail. That's great. Okay, how to avoid COVID. Yeah. At church, summer camps, visiting family. We got that. Americans get another reprieve on a new ID required to fly. Yeah, you know, we paid the entire airports, all that, you know, all these airports and these mega bazillionaires, we bailed them out. Now we're gonna bail them out, rebuild their airports for them. Yeah, it's just corruption at its finest. Corruption at its finest. And Burning Man Festival canceled in-person event again because of COVID-19. So if he was going to Burning Man out there in the desert, it's done. You're not going there apparently. Yeah. Okay, how to get it? Yeah. I don't see anything on COVID other than COVID protesters must stop exploiting symbols of the Holocaust. You know, whichever way you stand on that, I'm not going to get into it. Britney Spears, don't care, washed up. That's like all I can say. Beaver chews through a cable and knocks out internet service to hundreds in a town in Canada. Imagine that, Canucks. Dumb, dum, 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 dum. There's just dumb. Okay, Iranian attack boat harasses U.S. warship in the Persian Gulf again on Monday, and I heard they shot at the ship. You know, first shots fired. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe there will be war after all. Maybe we can all go back to the perennial war era we've been stuck in for 20 years. Let's just have another war. I mean, why not take the attention off everything? That's what they're trying to do. So here's Britain sending his huge naval force through tense waters in Asia. Okay, U.S. orders drawdown of government employees from Afghanistan embassy. Okay, well, that war should have been over a long time ago. We weren't spending enough on contractors apparently and wasting enough funny money, and that really wasn't the most lucrative way to get the other 10 or 12 or 14 trillion dollars out of our great grandchildren's pockets. So yeah, I think that's gonna end real fast. Yeah, Myanmar, let's see. Alaskan airline bans state lawmaker for her continued refusal to comply with mask mandate. Breaking news. Alaskan Airlines bans state lawmaker for her continued refusal to comply with mask mandate. Yeah, she vaccinated. That's supposed to save the day, right? The pandemic, post-pandemic, by the way. We're at the end. We were at the end stages. We're back. Life's back to normal. Biden picks Texas sheriff who criticized Trump-era policies for ICE director. Of course he did. Borders wide open. Drugs are flowing through. Seen an article where semis are just dumping out people and drugs. Just seen it. Not going to say where. Yeah. And meanwhile, the entire nation is gripped in a drug epidemic, which is huge, and a homeless epidemic, which is huge. And the border's still wide open. Oh, so let's get. Oh, we got it. I want there. I don't see nothing on it here. We got to get into the population problem we're having. So, 40 facts. That Dance with Wolves is an awesome show. You guys can go to YouTube, watch Dances with Wolves. You can watch it with the commercials in it. So today, we're going to go off the cuff. We're just going to say, we're going to tell it out as what I heard. So, the issue with the border, they're supposed to be filling in the gaps. Okay. The population census is saying that with this new census they did, that, redistrict a bunch of stuff and added Democratic votes to certain states, which were pretty much perfect places for the Democrats to move from the hell they created in California to other states. I don't care what side you're on, Republican or Democrat. I mean, that's what it is. I'm just what I see there. They moved there, up the votes, the population grew from Democrats, and then they added a vote, whatever. So the U.S. population is stagnant. For the second time in the founding of our country, since the founding of our country, the U.S. population is stagnant. Well, haven't we heard this since the beginning? We need to control population. If we want to save the earth, we have to stop having children. If we want to cut down and save the world before it goes extinct and everybody dies because of global warming and climate change, we need to stop having children. So now I'm talking out of one side of my face, while the rest of my mouth saying something else. Ventriloquists are actually saying that this is a bad thing, that the population of the United States is now stagnating, that they're not producing children. Meanwhile, abortion clinics are running full blast. But wasn't the goal of all climate people, specialists and everybody else, to control the population? Wasn't that the main goal? Wasn't that the big scream from 10 years ago? Stop having kids. There's too many kids. There's too many people. The earth can't handle it. That was what the same people that's yelling about climate change, that want to save the world from climate change, are now complaining because the world's population, or the country's population's not growing. It's kind of a tit for tat thing. We're worried about the population of Mexico, Central South America coming up into America because the population is dropping. We lost 500,000+ people in just over a year due to COVID and other illnesses. Well, that's just saying COVID. I don't know how many other people we lost. How many people did we actually lose? That's a pretty good substantial amount of people we lost. 500,000 people just died off. Well, that's what an aging population does. They tend to die off a lot quicker than a younger population. And that's what the issue is with that, other than COVID. We are going to lose a lot of people. We have been losing a lot of people in the past, but people are able to have one kid, and there's two parents, and they don't even cover themselves. They just, one of them is for one, and the other person's off the population chart because they didn't reproduce a second child to replace themselves. And that's what's happening. So these guys are all upset about the population, and it's probably a good thing that the population isn't growing. And I heard today that they're worried about the competing with India and China and their massive populations. Do you really realize what India's like? Has anybody decided to look at that and say, well, do we really want to live like India and China, where people are really struggling just to survive, where a bowl of rice is, in some places, is like a steak dinner? We don't want to experience that type of population boom. 1 billion people is not a good thing in your country. It's not. If you own a country the size of China, 2 billion people is too many. It's too many people. That's a billion with a B. But now, we're talking the trillions. These guys have got this trillion thing in their head. Yeah, we're going to have trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. And the more people we get, the more the debt's spread out amongst everybody else. There's, instead of $400,000 per person that plops out on the ground here in America, they got that down to $200,000 per person. The national debt is determined by the value of the dollar, the debt dollars, okay? The big facade. They don't want the dollar to gain in value as much as they don't want the population to drop. Why? Because they want their massive theft to be spread far and wide. But they want that dollar to be worth less. Thus the money they had stolen in the past, that they've already switched over to other currencies, and they're involved in other growing currencies that are valuable, that are actually don't have a debt behind it, with those crappy US dollars, they're just going to deflate they're going to make the dollar, worth half as much as it was. Thus the debt's worth half as much. Well, you owe $30 trillion on the debt. Well, that 30 trillion was 2020. That was the price 2020. So that's like basically 100, let's say $15 trillion in Canadian, or that's the thinking. And if we don't have enough people to get in here and to share this debt that we stole from all you people, and more people to steal money from through packages and bills and earmarks, then the whole game of cards could crash down. How would that be? What would they do? They don't have enough suckers in there working 60 hours a week to make a living, while everything's just flying by, and they're passing bills left and right to fund everything. It's a major stupidity. So the things that they do is just all slush funds. It's all, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but we're going to take all the rest of this for us, for our projects, our people, and the lobbyists and everything else. So probably should end this episode, and like to get into more, but that's just CNN with a few additions. And bear with me, today I'm rambling. I ramble a lot anyways, but yeah. So it's CNN, take it for what it's worth. It's just stupid. The whole thing that they post on here, all these articles really don't help much as far as news. They're just, I don't know if they don't do reporting, or if this is all just, let's keep just throwing crazy stuff in there until everybody figures out what's going on. And, we kind of get tired of, watching CNN say stupid things constantly, and everybody just turns them off, just like I did. Gone. Turn them off. Bye-bye CNN. And then we're able to do news again. We're able to do real news, with real independent media across the world, without these, bobbleheads telling us what to think or do, or driving certain populations into madness against each other. Just complete madness, where people are looking at people differently. Before it was like, hey, it's up. Now it's like, oh, because CNN is telling me that this whole place is erupting in this massive fight between all of us. It's about ratings. It's about ratings. These people get their information from the kings, from the oligarchs, the rich and famous people that have sucked all this massive money out of the economies and stuck it in their back pocket to fund other operations to make themselves richer. Why countries are struggling just to survive. And you've been locked in your basement for a year, or dealing with houses that are too expensive now, and food that's going through the roof, and fuel that's going to go through the roof. But remember, you got to have that electric car to save the environment while the population is actually stagnating. We must save the world and import millions more people to make ourselves a billion. That way we can make things much better in the future for the more bills that we pass and the more fake stuff we steal from you guys to drive the debt dollar completely out of existence. But we made all the money, so bye-bye. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Anyway, thanks for watching 45 News Utah. Please like and share. Have a great day. You guys are awesome.